Hi, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Hi, Carla. It's so good to see you again. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. This is so exciting. It is so fun to see some new faces. Some of you who are not always in. It's so interesting because in the collective and when we're in things like I'm like, I see the same people like every day and multiple times a week. And so I know that this opportunity is a little bit different because it's for the 10K bundle and some of you are here and you're not plugged into other things. So I'm just very excited to be able to give you guys this opportunity to hang out with you guys and do this Q&A and support you. So welcome if you are here live. I know many people are going to be watching this on the replay as well, but if you're here live, I'm so happy that you're here and let's make the most of this live time together. And so as I'm going through the questions in the Q&A, if you want to share takeaways or questions or whatever in the chat, it is my goal and the main focus that I answer all the questions that were submitted. And so if you ask something in the chat, I might not answer it, but I most likely will. It just depends how we're going with everything because the questions that were submitted were obviously very good. And I want to go deep and really give you guys a lot of support. So it's going to be simple. We'll be here for about an hour or so, depending on how long it all takes. And I'm just trying to think if there's any other major housekeeping things. This will be sent to you guys, the replay, you'll get it. You get to plug back into it and listen to it. So that will be perfect. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Things are simple in my world. So I'm going to start with the questions and we'll go from there. The first one is a big, long question and it's okay. So, but I'm just going to read it out. If I don't read the whole thing, then we won't have context. So, and I'm not going to say who asked the questions, like they're all amazing questions and all the things. So we'll dive in. Okay. And the thing that's going to be so amazing about this is every question and every answer is going to be so beneficial for you. And that's why I love doing Q&As is because they're so valuable. So we will dive in. Okay. Okay. This question is, I started my coaching business 1 year ago. I've had around 15 clients that I coached for free and 5 that have purchased one-to-one coaching. I have been embodying the work, constantly working on that and getting clear on my brand. I feel like I'm implementing so much of what you teach, which is so amazing. And I still have 0 signups, even for free classes, a lot of the time, 0 new paid clients. I often only have 60 to 80 people even see my posts on IG, fewer seeing my stories, low engagement. I'm not sure where to go from here other than keep going, refining and being patient, but would love to hear from you on this topic. I do also have a podcast, email list, private Facebook group. Okay. I came into this world fully believing I would make 100K my first year. I'm also confused more than anything that I have invested high level mentorship. Okay. So this is, I'm just excited right now because Lou is coming on. She's going to laugh. Lou is like my best friend. She's probably laughing right now. Lou is in my mastermind. She's in the collective and she is the best student in the world. And it's just so funny because she's in my mastermind. She gets access to Voxering me and all the things, but she still shows up to all the calls where she doesn't even need to be. And I'm just like, I'm so impressed right now. I don't know if she can hear me. Oh no, I need to mute her. Sorry, guys. We have fun in my world. Okay, this is what I want to say. And I didn't even look. I don't know if I didn't even see who asked this question, but this is a really good question. And I want to, Lou, I have a feeling that when you were connecting, you didn't hear me. I saw that you were coming on and I was like, I just need to take a moment. I see that Lou is coming on. I'm like, Lou is the best student. She's in my mastermind. She shows up on all the calls, all the things. I love it. Okay. Is the person who asked the question on here? It's totally fine if you, okay, it was Allison. Okay, good question. So here's the thing, I have a feeling that it's something with the content, right? Because when we're posting and we're sharing all the things and you've got a podcast and you're putting out the stuff and it's not like that's not good, it's that that's not being seen, right? And so it's like then it becomes, well, how do I be seen? And so I'm going to give as much detail as I can, you guys, during this time. And obviously I can't teach a whole program in a Q&A, but like when it comes to Instagram specifically, if we're not posting content in an intelligent way for Instagram, it's not going to get exposed to a big audience, right? And so what I mean by that is like, I could post something on Instagram and it looked like crap. And I'm not saying that your stuff looks like crap. This is just an example. It could look like crap. It could not be potent. It could not be clear. I could not be using hashtags. It would be whatever. And it's just not going to land. It's not going to be seen. It's not going to be saved. It's not going to be shared. Right. And so for Instagram specifically, and I start with that because I think most people in my world, or Instagram is probably a main platform. It's like, when I think about an Instagram post, I'm like, okay, what is the value of this post? Who is this for? All these different things. But I think about if someone was scrolling on the explore page on Instagram, would this stand out? And on Instagram, it's a game of like, it's got to look a certain type of way for us to click on it because we're always scrolling. It's very like in the moment, like which ones am I going to click on? So the reason that I'm going here with this question is like on Instagram, we want to think about, yes, the value of the post, but also curating it in a way that maybe it's also shareable. And Instagram has a vibe. Instagram has a vibe. Do you get what I mean? Like, even if you later on your homework, everyone is go on your explore page on Instagram and just scroll and just notice what kind of posts are there. What do they look like? They're most likely, they have similarities. They stand out. There's a bold font. There's certain colors. They're bright. They're simple. And so I'm just really highlighting this right now because on Instagram, it's not just about how good the content is. It's that it really fits the platform. And when it fits the platform, it gets exposed to more people. And that's how we're also growing our audiences. Okay, so that's one way for me to describe it. Like if I was in your position and I was like, this is not getting seen, I would double down on really potent educational content. Actually, I'm going to look at your Instagram. I'm not doing this for everybody, FYI, so don't ask. Is yours? I'm typing in your name to see if it comes up. Oh, it's Allison and okay, thank you. Okay, so, well, first of all, I love that you're doing really well with the bold, the bold, like the words stand out right away. Like this is amazing. And I'm just clicking on. It's so funny. I was doing Instagram audits the other day. Okay, so are you using hashtags on every post? It doesn't look like it. And even, and I do, or maybe some. So hashtags are overrated anyway, like don't stress out about it, but it does help the reach. Okay, so I would double down on educational content and shareable content. And educational content, getting really specific on like, what is the one takeaway from this piece of content? We don't want to go too broad. When it's too broad, it doesn't land. So I think that it looks like you're already doing this to a certain extent, but it's like even the front carousel, it should be really clear, like who is this for and what is this piece of content about? At the beginning, when we're still getting the audience, it's so important to be like extra specific on who the heck we help or what we do. So then people know, like, why would I follow you? And then right away, it's like, oh, I would follow you because, you know, I give education or tips, blah, blah, to this kind of person. That I think is really, really important. And at the same time, mixing that in with you and like your own journey and your transformation, because then people are like, it's like, if you're just a resource, it's like, yeah, but who are you? Who's the person behind? So finding that balance, I think is really, really important to grow your network. Now, what I would also suggest is, we have to create the engagement. You know what I mean? So when I had like a smaller audience and I didn't have as much engagement, I was always creating ways for people to help me create engagement. So what I mean by that is like free master classes or free trainings. I would be like, I'm going to do a giveaway. Can you share this? So then people would share and tag, you know, stuff like that. And I was doing that for free stuff. So just thinking of different ways that you can encourage your current audience, incentivize them to share your stuff or share a post or tag you or when they're on your live stream or stuff like that, that really goes a long way. And this one is, I know everyone has a different like way of doing this, but like, I don't know what you're doing with collaboration, but collaboration for me at the very beginning is so powerful, like doing live streams with people, podcasts, stuff like that, like people that you probably already know and love, like other experts. And it's a good, like you bring in someone on your profile, you go on their profile to like cross promote is so huge. And I think that we often forget this one because you might see like really established coaches not do this a lot, but at the beginning I actually did it a lot. So if you're in a mastermind or group programs and you know people, you're like, hey, let's do a collab. Like that's such a good organic way to promote. And even like the tagging, like I tagging in group programs, like Lou was saying, you know what I mean? Stuff like this. Like I encourage people to be like, hey, if you're on this with me, literally right now, I'm going to reshare you. People want to follow you because you're in my world. It's just like natural connection that goes a long way. Like Lou's tagging me in all the Era of You stuff. I'm like, I'm going to be repurposing that because I love what she's doing, but also like, it's a testimony for the Era of You program, but then people are like, who's this person doing this work? I want to go follow. Like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that, that really creates a boomerang. So this is a huge piece of what I'll say for you as well. Low engagement. I'm not sure where to go from here. So that's my advice. That's the biggest thing is like, but then here's the energetics and the mindset of all of this. And the way that I try to always stay connected to is like, I've got something to share with the world. I'm going to be unstoppable about it. Right. It's like, how would I not find ways to just be loud and get shared and be like, it's like, get in there and go. Like, it's like, like there's always going to be these different strategies, but like the energy of someone who's just like, I've got something to share with the world. It doesn't matter what the new strategy is. They just find a way, you know? So it's like getting really comfortable with that, but maybe like there's another potency to your content that it's like, oh, like I can tell this person is important and they've got something to say. Like, who is it? Like sprinkling that mindset to all of your pieces of content and how you show up will also go a long way. That mixed with service. So that's my answer to your stuff. And that's a big piece that will get more people in your world. And then signing up. And I think that's the biggest piece is because the way that I see it is like when we're so in love with our work and then we just focus on sharing it on social media, the sales process becomes easier, right? Because we've got people who are like every day connected. There's a new piece of content, you're showing up, there's that energy, I want to be in their world. Like then the sales process is easier because it's just all they need is that trust and that ongoing content. Like I built my business from literally that, me showing up on social media. And then I had offers. The sales process was like, do you need the link or not? Like, you know what I mean? But it's, so obviously there can be more in between, but that energy and that strategy is what I would focus on for content. And you'll see new people coming in your world. Okay. Okay. So good. Okay. Okay, next question. I've been through these trainings 2 times now. I love them. I feel like I've implemented and have been implementing these strategies. Context, I'm a fitness coach. Had 1 6-month offer, and back in November, I switched to your biz model, but still have a cold audience. I've been teaching them the differences in all offers, importance of each, proximity to me, but had 2 launch flops. Just keep trusting the process. So the thing about this is, especially when, you know, a lot of people come into my world and they pivot their business models a little bit because, you know, having one main thing to then going into micro offers, it's only been since November. I need to remind you guys of this. For most of us since November, it's like, well, that feels like 10 years, but it's been 4 months or it's been 3 months. And so it's like to pivot a business model takes a year. Right? Or whatever, like, because what is the definition of it working versus it not working? So when we're transitioning business models from like a main offer to micro offers, it's going to take time for those micro offers to actually create the same result of like what the one longer term high ticket offer brought you in. So trust that process. Yes. But also I suggest doing things like still selling high ticket as you're building up micro offers. So still sell 1-to-1 or still sell intensives or still sell something high ticket like to balance out like the low that you might be in as the micro offers like take time to build, if that makes sense. That's really what it is. It's like, so there was a time in my business where I was doing the model that I have now, but I didn't have the number of people signing up. But what I was doing is what I use the term leveraging. I was leveraging high ticket and upsells. So it wasn't about having 20 people or 50 people. It was like, oh, I have 7, but I'm going to give an upgrade, or I'm going to give a continuation, or I'm going to do like a higher ticket upsell. So then it kind of balanced out. Like I still get to serve people who are in my world, and I can still bring in that income. And I'm not relying on like one main group program. I'm still building the micro offers, but I'm not losing out. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a balance there. But the actual thing about this is the mindset piece, because it's like, it's been 4 months, it hasn't been working. And it's like, okay, what? Like, what are we, right? And so it's like bringing yourself back to like, I'm switching this business model for a reason, for the longevity. I'm in it in the long haul. That mindset shift is everything, because we'll say to ourselves all the time, like, oh, I just had 2 launch flops. It's not working. All of these negatives. But the actual truth is, you built a business, you built a program, and now you're restructuring. That's the actual truth. The truth is, I'm on the journey of scaling my business in a different way, but we focus on like the negative. And then it's like, how do we build from a negative? Like two flops, it's not working. It was successful, now it's not. It's like, we could look at it like that, or it's like, I built something really amazing, but now I'm changing it and I'm in the process of changing it. Like that reframe is absolutely everything. So that's, I think, more of the answer. So then you can stay focused on building what's working, because it is working. You've just changed things. So hi, Stephen. I need to say hi to Stephen as he came on. So that big smile when Stephen came on, he's like, I'm here, everybody. Okay. I'm a language coach, and most of my competitors sell their services at 15, what's PH? It's 15 PH. What is that? Is that a currency, or am I crazy? Doesn't matter. Per hour. I'm like, what's PH? Is that a currency? $15 per hour. Got it. I would like to sell my expertise at a much higher rate. What can I do so that people stop focusing on what others offer and start paying me for my services? So why you? Why are you the one? Why would I choose you? What makes you special? And asking yourself these questions from a place of like, not pressure, but from a place of like, why would someone choose me? What makes me different? What is my outlook? And so this is where on your social media, I would suggest sharing things, like sharing your opinions about things, sharing like the way that you think. People know that you're good at this work. Everyone's good at whatever it is that you do. Like, obviously you're the best. I don't even know who asked this question. You're the best, you're amazing. But like, why choose you when you could all do the same work? Because you're different. You've got a way about it. What is your point of difference? Really highlighting and showcasing that. And that's when it's someone's like, I want to do this work, but I'm going to choose you no matter what your rate is, because you're the one that activates me. You're the one I want to learn from. You're the one I want to do this work from. And that's when people pay whatever. So I believe in this, you guys. And so many people think it's like, oh, only business coaches can charge whatever. I think anyone can charge whatever when you're the one. Like, I'm gonna hire the personal trainer who, like, there's something about them. There's something about how they view health and fitness, and like they talk about certain things, and I'm going to pay more for that person. And it could be the same programming, but it's different because it's that person. But we don't know about that person unless they're sharing themselves. So really tap into like, why am I the one? And this is why I really love this, is because this business work in this kind of way is not just how do I sell it. This is a journey of you seeing yourself. This is a journey of you being like, actually, who the hell am I? And do I have the audacity and the confidence to find a way to share that on social media? And that's a journey. And so it's not like, yeah, but how? It's just like, we've got to figure it out. I remember in 2020 when I was, just going through the journey that we're all going through, I'm like something's about to shift. Like, what is it? And that was a year where things started to scale. And a lot of the work that I was doing for myself was like, like, what is my angle on all of this? What makes me different? And I just let myself discover that. And that came across in my branding, that came across in my content. And then that came across even in my teachings. Like, what do I have to say about this that's different? And I let myself just be different. So, and that's when people pay whatever, because they want to pay because you're you and no one else can be you. Cool. Okay. And I learned something today. pH is per hour. Like, what currency is pH? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. What are the key pieces of a sales process, not including just social media? So again, context of the Q&A, I have a whole program on launch. Like, there's no way I could teach a whole program here. But the way that I see launching something, the first thing that I will say is launching something is not just selling something. Launching something is actually how you're choosing to present your offer to your social media. People think launching equals sales. Launching and sales is two separate things. Launching is, how am I presenting this offer to my social media? So right away, if I ask you, how are you presenting the best offer? Like, you have something incredible. You have like a diamond ring. How do you want to present a diamond ring to the world? How do you want to present the most luxurious thing to your audience? You just want to throw it out there like it's nothing? Or do you want to be like, everyone, I've been working on this amazing program, and on Friday at 3 p.m., I'm going to present it to you. Right away, the energy of that is like, oh, like, this is important. This is special. So it's like the planning, the hyping up, the telling your audience that you've got something coming, the like, all of that is part of launching. And then it's like, then you share the thing. And this is where, if you choose to like have branding and it looks a certain kind of way or whatever, these are all bells and whistles that you don't necessarily need. But it, you know, someone who has branding to a program that looks put together, I'm going to think a certain way about them and that product because it's put together, right? And so it's like, I'm presenting to you this offer, it looks a certain kind of way, it's packaged, and then you share obviously what it is. So just think of launching like that. How am I presenting this to my audience? And then when it comes to the sales and the launching process, an important piece and the easiest piece for me to explain this here is, for offers that it makes sense that you have 2 or 3 different phases of pricing, that's how I would split up your launch. So like a pre-sale, early bird, or a full price, or just like a full, an early bird and a full price. So then it's like, what I like to do when it's a pre-sale, I don't have all the bells and whistles and necessarily all the details, because a pre-sale is further out and it's more about just like, you can join now at the earlier price. Then when you're in like the main part of the launch, you have more time and space to give more education and information on really what is this offer. People in the middle of a launch, like they're more like, they need more education about what is it that I'm buying. So the pre-sale, you're going to get the people who just want, they love you, they trust you right away. They're like, yeah, I don't care what it is, I want the lowest price, like those kinds of people. Then in the middle of a launch is usually like, people know what your offer is, but they need to know a little bit more, like they're thinking about it. And in the online space, we like to put on a pedestal when people just buy fast. And I might have been part of the problem with that, because I like to talk about it in my content, but here we are. There are people, and there's nothing wrong with these people, who like to be educated buyers. This is when you post content and do live streams and all these things, like, what is this offer? Why would you need it? Like, that's what I would do in the middle of a launch. And then the end is more about like, we're starting soon, like get in the urgency of the beginning. And so I think that based off of all of that, for all of you, like deciding how long you want to launch something really depends on you, the offer, if there's a start date, if it's evergreen. Like the way that you would sell a mastermind is different than how you would sell a masterclass, right? The way that you would sell a 3-week live program is different than how you would sell a membership, right? So the way that we sell different things is different, but I would start there with just, it's about presenting. And if there's different prices for your offer, then split up the launch based off of that. Okay. All right. Can you give an overview of a customer journey, i.e. yours and the main offerings mirroring that journey? Yeah. So I think the easiest way for me to explain this is, and it's cool because you guys see the different offers that I have in my world, whether you're in them or not. So I like to look at this as like low ticket to high ticket. So like a masterclass, $100, $99. And obviously this pricing is just what I choose. You can do what you want, but it's usually like a low cost one-time class. And similar to that in my world is also the bundles that I have on my website, like the 10K bundle. So something that's the lower price point, a couple $100s. And it's usually, if it's live, it's usually like a one-time thing, or there's not like a million modules, right? Or it's something completely passive. That feels so good in my world because if it's live, the low price point compared to how much time I'm showing up aligns. And then the passive stuff is just, is there. And that is for, the way that I see it is it's for people who are new in my world and they want to start with something small, or the people who, you know, they don't necessarily want to start with something low ticket, but those offerings and that value resonates for where they're at in their journey. Then I have like the micro offers that are more like my signature programs, you know, hot audience, launch and sell, the coach program, offer incubator, potent prosperity, all these different like main signature group programs. And in my world right now, they're mostly live. And those are for if you really want to master the topic of the program. You really want to master sales and launching. You really want to master like money mindset and wealth. You really want to master. And so in my world, those are, I like to spread them out over 2 to 3 weeks. And we do maybe 8 to 10 or 12, whatever trainings. And I'm really going deep on those topics. And in my world right now, they're around $1,000 to $3,000. When I first started, they were in like the multiple hundreds, just for context. And then the thing that wraps all of those things together is the collective, and that's the membership. So the collective gets all those programs and masterclasses and any passive stuff. So then it's like a membership. So do you see how this client journey is like, you can start low cost, you can go up a little bit higher and choose one program. And if and when you're ready, you can have a membership that's just like, if you want to do everything with me for a year or whatever, then that supports the client journey, right? And so that's the way that I see it. And then I have masterminds and private coaching. And then this is based on now proximity. So my master classes and my programs are more about the topic. What is someone really going to learn and master in that? Because I'm teaching. And then masterminds and private coaching is more about the personalized support, the client bringing me what they want to work through. And then I give coaching based off of what is brought up. And then it's just more personalized. And so because that's the closer proximity and we get to go deeper, we're more close, they get a deeper transformation, they get more of me, more access, then it's just the higher ticket. And then it makes sense for the client journey. So that's how I see it. But I also want to remind you guys that like, people don't have to start at the bottom with the lowest thing. Like people can come in your world at the top thing, right? And so this just makes sense. Like, yes, it's a good way to look at it when you're planning, but people can come in at really any points whenever they're ready. And it's perfect as long as it aligns. So that's how I see it. And I love this model because, you know, I get to be in the different modes of like teaching and mentoring and all these different things. Like there's a lot of diversity at once in my world. For context, and I know sometimes people are like, how are you doing all these things? I'm only ever doing one live program, my masterminds and my private coaching at the same time. So, but I sell multiple things at once. But like, for example, today it was like Era of You. We've got this is an extra. I had no private calls today, but then I was just in Voxer with Mastermind and one-to-one. So like the way that you can find a flow and how you show up works well with this model as well. And then obviously it helps you scale your business when it's like, you're not always trading one-to-one time because you can deliver to an audience as many people with many of the offers. So that's how I see it. Okay. When you were going from 10K months to 20K months, what was the biggest shift that made that happen? What fears came up for you and how did you work through them? So for me personally, during this time of my journey, I was not looking at money. So I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like there was a year at the very beginning when when I realized I was having 20K months, I think I fainted because I wasn't looking at money. And then I realized, oh my God, there was like, so I don't know what happened from 10 to 20. So there's that, but also I think this is the code that I'm most excited to share around mindset is there's nothing ever in the way. Like, yes, there's shifts from 20 to 50 and 50 and this and that, but like, I think that what blocks people is people think there's something in the way for me getting from 10 to 20. There's nothing. From 10 to 20 is you getting better selling the things that you already have. But how do we get better selling the things we already have? Well, it's the mindset stuff, it's the confidence stuff, it's the showing up stuff, it's the brand stuff, it's all of it, so it's like the refinement of me from 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100, blah, 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 has always been all of this, but better. And I, it's so interesting. I've been having many conversations about this with different people in my world and in my network is like, I think that what happened over the last year in the coaching space is a lot of people started to sell really shiny things. Take this thing and I'm going to teach you how to do this. And, I've got my method to this. And it's like, but that's not the truth. The truth to scale your business from 10 to 20, 20 and beyond, whatever, it doesn't matter the numbers. It's all of the same work over and over again, but becoming a master at it. I talked about this in Era of You today. And I think people buy the shiny thing, or people don't want to realize that that's the actual truth because it takes work, right? And like, it takes work. So like, be in the game for this, like be about this, be someone who's like, I'm going to do this work forever and I'm going to master all of it. And I'm going to master the mindset stuff and the confidence stuff and the strategy stuff. Like, I'm always refining my content. I'm always refining my strategy. I'm always refining my offers. I'm always working on my mindset. I'm always working on my heart. That's going to take you from where you are to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. So if you always are doing this kind of work, you're going to realize what's in the way. You're going to work through it. And it's really just like keeping yourself accountable to always moving forward and being more efficient. And that's why I believe in being in this work. You know what I mean? Like always opening your heart and your mind to like different perspectives. So then you realize, ooh, what's the thing, right? But it's the same stuff, but over and over again. That's my answer. Okay. Tips for holding boundaries when a coaching container has ended and clients are still reaching out, asking questions for support. So I think that the number one thing here is you've just got to say, I love you so much. The container was amazing, but the container has ended. So because the container has ended, I cannot be answering questions in the personal DMs. Easier said than done, I know. But also, if this is happening to you, it's a really good opportunity to make sure that you're setting these boundaries when a container now opens, right? So if a client comes in, you can say, I'm so excited. This is day one. And because you bought this package, our container will end on this day. Like, so then it's very clear. And I think that we just struggle with this because we're worried about like, oh my God, are they going to be mad or this or that? And I totally get it. But if you're kind and clear, people are going to get it. And so I think that this other piece too is sometimes we're not sure what it looks like to have professional relationships, but also these people are people that, are on our social media still. So it's like, what is our boundary? We don't even know what that feels like until it happens. And I think at the end of the day, this can look different for everyone, but it's just about kind and clear communication. And for me, it was like, I knew right away, if someone is crossing a boundary, I make sure to clean it up as soon as possible, because sometimes if we let it keep going, then it's harder to clean up. Like we can always clean things up, but I just let whatever's happening now be a moment where going forward, you fix it before it happens. But for these people happening now, I would just say, you know what? The container was amazing. I love you. I miss you. Let's just make sure that coaching only happens in paid containers. They will respect it. Okay. I am building a global movement as a mentor, yet I also want to provide services as a high-level strategist for scaling coaching brands. Why? Because then each client is a contract that delivers 10 to 15K over a consulting. How could I go about offering services to high-level coaches inside my brand? Or should I just aim to build a strong mentorship brand where people pay me to share this kind of stuff with them on group programs? I feel like they are different things, one-to-one strategist versus mentor, but I also have this strategist potential in me and I want it to bring higher cash months. So this is what I would actually say is you can do all of this under your main brand. You can be like, this is my brand and I have a global movement happening as a mentor. And I have some offers that are more about the consulting. And I think that they work well together. So your brand gets to be the global movement, and that is what your content is about. And people know you're about this, and they know you're an expert. They know you're successful, and they work with you in mentorship, but they also know you have a pillar where you do the consulting stuff. So it's more about just the offers are really clear, but both fit really well under the brand. And I don't think that it's confusing at all. Yeah, how do I go about offering services to my high-level coaches inside my brand? You just do. It's like claim, I am mentor here and I have consulting here. Like just, it's like the how. I know that this is like the way that we ask the question, like, but how? But like, you just do it and you just own it. Like, I'm about both of these things. You can sign up to this or both, like claiming the space around it. I think we often want it to be this like sneaky thing, but it's really just like, this is what I do, and make it so obvious. Okay. Okay. When it comes to getting epic results for clients as a business coach, what would you say is the key factor? Yeah, you make it harder than it actually is. The key factor, I mean, what's the one key factor? It's all of it. The biggest thing for me is your clients need to be reminded of who they are and what they're capable of. As soon as you get someone to feel that, they just go and make magic happen. But when someone's not feeling that, everything is hard. So it's like, it's the activation piece. It's the reminding your client who you are piece. It's the helping your client stay connected to the bigger vision piece and like what they're actually doing piece. Like the conversations that I have in my masterminds and my private coaching are about these kinds of things. And it's like, to be on a fly on the wall of some of these conversations would be like obviously amazing, but we think like, we always want to think it's like one thing or one strategy thing, but this kind of work is not. This kind of work is the big conversations behind the scenes to keep you activated in why you're doing this in the first place and connected to the vision. And when we can stay there and have the support when you're in a dip and you're not there to keep yourself accountable to coming back there, that's when you're going to see the success. This work, even though I'll call myself a business coach, like this work is about helping someone change who they are at the core. And so this mindset stuff needs to be refined over and over again, because if you can help someone change who they are, that's the goal. That's what it is. Right. And so even though you're a business mentor, it's like your job is to help that person stay connected to what they're about. So then they actually keep doing the things, and what they're doing is more potent. Okay. I've been coaching for the last 3 years, largely through referrals. My presence online has been inconsistent, and over the last few years, and I have pivoted from holistic health to self-love to now divorce recovery. This year, I am committed to getting the foundations in place, building my brand, audience, and trust. My mindset is in the long game, and I'm not looking for validation or instant gratification since doing your trainings. Well, this right here needs to be the biggest win in the world, because this is huge. Because most people are stuck there. When you're stuck there, it's not a good thing. But would love to get your thoughts, perspective on still making bank in this early stage, because you know unicorn things. So here's the thing. The longevity mindset is everything, but that doesn't mean that you can't get results now. So when I think of building longevity and building wealth and building a brand and content and trust and all these things, they take time. But also you could do something that's a short-term thing and a cash injection now. That doesn't mean that if you do that, it takes away from having the long-term mindset. So in my world, it's about balancing these dualities of like, I'm in the long game, I'm cleaning things up, long vision. But if you only stay there, you're not going to create wins now. It's about having that long-term mindset and doing things that are in alignment with creating momentum and bringing in cash now, whatever that looks like for you. So there are people, I was saying this is Judy on here. Judy is on here. I was saying this to Judy on a mastermind call on Monday, because she had a similar question. This is so interesting. Like, but what do I do now? Because people need to build trust to buy. I'm like, yeah, some people need time to buy, but some people want to buy from you now. Yeah, an email list takes a minute to build, but like you can sell now. People are buying now. It's, can you do both? Can you hold both? Judy's like, hi, in the chat. Hi. That's really what it is. So, but make sure that the short-term things that you're going to do now, you have that clean mindset around. So if you put something out there and it doesn't work, it's fine, because you've got the long-term mindset to back you up. So there's a fine line here, and this is like your mindset, emotional intelligence mastery, but don't rob yourself of things that can happen now because certain things take time. It's about doing both and mastering both. Okay. I used to think there's a season for selling and a season for building trust. Wah, 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 wah. How boring, right? It's like, I am in the season of just slow growth. And it's like, wait, let's do it all at once. Much more exciting. And it works that way. But that's how, though, some people are only in a short-term wins, and they're not building. So that's a good way to be on a hamster wheel and not have long growth. So when it's like you've got both playing for you at once, it's like you're building and sustaining and scaling, and it's the best of both worlds. But when you're only doing things of like quick wins, then it's like, oh my God, I always need quick wins. But when you're focused on longevity and the brand and the signature programs and the client journey, then you can have those quick wins, but it also has a strong foundation. That's how we want to build. Okay. I made the mistake of copying a mentor's strategies and tactics in the past, which ended up feeling completely unaligned with my personal beliefs and the business/life I want. I love your business model, how you show up and serve, and how you care for yourself. What advice would you give someone who wants to adapt their business model to be similar to yours? Well, there's a few different things. I honestly think that we go in with this kind of thing with the mindset of like, I need it to look like that now. But I built what this is by doing one thing at a time, and I built to this. So my actual advice is take one piece of my model, right, or whatever, that is exciting for you now to apply now, and start with that and see how that works and see how that makes you feel. And then it's like, oh, I love this. Let's keep doing this, or let's add another piece. And so it's like practically seeing how it's working, and energetically if it actually makes you happy. Because this is the real talk. You see me doing it my way and you see my happiness. But if you try and do it this way, and I know you know this, it might not bring you the same happiness. And that's why it's just like one thing at a time. Ask yourself, is this actually in alignment? Does this make me happy? Yes or no? And then you pivot accordingly. When I'll also say this, for me, I'm always really connected to like asking myself, like, am I happy? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? Like in a very lean back kind of way. And so when I ask myself these questions, like, yes, I'm happy, everything's good. It's like, cool, keep going. If something feels off, I'm adjusting and pivoting. So I'm not just building a business model, I'm building like what feels good and sustainable for me. So I'm kind of always adjusting in small other ways to stay connected to me. And so the reason I'm sharing this is you get to build your own business model of your dreams. And it starts with one thing. Does it make me happy? Okay, cool. What's the next thing? You try something, you don't like it, you change it, you take it out. It's our businesses get to always be this like mirror reflection of like what feels good for us and what season of life are we in. And that gets to work. And that's how I built mine. So my goal for everyone in my world is to build something sustainable and scalable, but also brings you so much joy. And that gets to look different for everyone. And when you can ask yourself these questions on a day-to-day basis, then you're always pivoting on a day-to-day basis instead of like doing something for 2 years that you hate and being like, I actually have to burn something down and rebuild. I would rather be like, oh, that was one mistake. Let's fix it now. Than you just keep going, even though, and we do this because we're not connecting to our happiness. And people do this because it's hard to connect if it's like, ooh, this actually doesn't make me happy. Like that's vulnerable. So that's what I would say. And really good question. Oh no, I feel like I messed up the order of all of these. So I'm going to have to scroll through. I messed up the order. Okay. I need to go back to the top. Okay, brand new, 50 followers. I am looking for a suggestion for a first goal, non-monetary, to help me have a strategy structure to my content because it currently feels all over the place with no true purpose or end goal. Ideally, the goal would on the shorter side, 14 days or 21 days or 30, okay, a short-term goal so I can build momentum as I'm currently a bit stuck in overthinking. I'm thinking of a free masterclass or something else fun. Would love suggestions. What would you recommend my content look like in the next 30 days? And what sort of mini goals would you suggest to help content have more structure and a better end goal? I don't know who asked this, but what if you do something that's like 30 days, 30 pieces of content? I don't know exactly what you're about, but try and gain clarity on like, okay, in the next 30 days, if I'm going to write 30 pieces of content and they're valuable for my audience and show my expertise, and maybe you can share a little bit of who you are, 30 days, 30 pieces of content that lead up to a masterclass. That can be exciting. That can be fun. I would look at this as 30 days, 30 pieces of content. You can make it an intention to get more clear and specific in your content, but also look at this as like 30 days. I'm finding my direction with content during this 30 days. I'm going to find my flow. Some posts are going to land, some aren't. Some I'm going to look back and be like, ooh, those weren't the best, but this is how we gain the clarity. So what if you did like 30 days, 30 pieces of content, and on day 31, you announce a masterclass? Like whatever. Like I think like that is so cool. And so you got the timeline of like a month or whatever. You're building your audience, you're getting better content, you're getting more clear, and then you can even bring your audience on for the journey or whatever. And then after day 30, after you make a post, you're like, I've got an announcement, something is coming tomorrow, and you announce a masterclass. And it's just a free masterclass or whatever. You do it like this is what it's about. It's going to be of service for your followers. It'll grow your account. You get to have practice. You do a masterclass, people show up, you get practice doing a masterclass. Like this to me is so exciting. And this is what it's about at the beginning. It's about like showing up, but also there's not a lot of people there yet. So it's about you getting better at the craft. And the only way to get better at the content and videos and all these different things is by practicing it. And then you're going to get good teaching because you're just doing it regularly. So, I mean, everyone here should do this challenge. That would be fabulous. We should all do this. Okay. I used to only have one signature offer, a 20K mastermind. Now selling monthly group programs as well. I sell them way better if I stay around the $1,000 price point or below. Instead of higher ticket, do I go for volume and keep this price point, or do I go higher with less people in it? I love the volume, but also scared lower ticket programs devalue my brand. Help. Who asked this? Oh, Susanna, as soon as you came on, I had a feeling because I saw you coming on and I'm like, huh, interesting. And it's so funny actually, because I just messed up the order of these questions, and the fact that you came on at the same time that I read your question, like we're synced in the universe somehow. Okay. So this is what I know. The price does not devalue your brand. That's just like, that's not a thing in my world. So if you want to take on that mindset, you can just take that mindset shift. I also know that there's something about building momentum. Like I want to have 20 people in my program, 50 people in my program. Like there's something about momentum. So there have been times in my business where I would not skyrocket the price because I wanted the numbers. So this is where it's discernment of like, you know what, let me keep around this price point for a couple more months or the rest of this year or whatever. Let's build it up, because at the same time you're building trust, your audience is getting used to all of it, and then it's like you can raise the price and there might not be a dip because you're building trust and you know what I mean, in everything. So there was a time when my programs, I think the highest was 1,000, but when I started, 1,000 was the lowest. There was a little bit of a dip in number of enrollment because people were like, well, I just can't invest now. So there was still like a middle period for me, but that was the point when at this point, it's not about the numbers. I've established something big, something good here, and I can't keep lowering it. So it was more about the price. So you've just got to decide, for me right now, do I like the momentum and more people? And then when I want to change, it's because like, listen, it's got to level up now. And some people will follow, some people will, not come in. But as you're building your brand and your reputation, when you choose to raise the price, there'll be people who didn't even know that you used to charge lower, all of a sudden start to pay $2,000, $3,000, and they're happy to, because they're in alignment with just paying that now for the thing. So that's my suggestion, and just decide where you are at with that. What's more important, the numbers or the price? Like it matching what you want to charge. Yeah. Okay. I need to read every question because they're out of order. So give me a minute. Okay, making 1 to 5K months for the last 2.5 years. Started off selling the same main high ticket offer, then switched to micro offers, but haven't had much luck yet. In the 10K bundle, you mentioned if you're between 0 to 10K to stick with one offer. Thoughts on this? I'm a fitness, health, life coach. I've been giving a ton of free value, free masterclasses, free challenges. Okay, so my suggestion to this, and I think I've answered this in different ways, but many of you are going through the same thing, is like, I believe in giving time for one main signature offer to build. So we don't want to jump to micro offer to micro offer to micro offer when they haven't built yet. So have one main core offer that has time to build, but you can still sell other offers, like I was saying earlier, that are like higher ticket stuff. So it's not like, so it's very clear, like this program is about this, but you can do one-on-one coaching with me, or you can do an intensive with me, right? So it's like, give time for that to build, yes, but you can still sell other things that aren't really in competition. Does that make sense? That's what I mean by that. Now, again, discernment, you can bring in a different topic of an offer and sell it, and it can work. But what I don't want you to do is have 10 different ones, but none of them are working. Maybe 1 to 2 main offers. Maybe if it's been a long time and that one isn't landing, bring out another one and see how it works. Why not? Right? But it's more about having that one offer and then having like a different price point that's not in competition with that offer, like a higher ticket stuff. Yeah. And how do you know if an offer is working? Again, it looks different for everyone. You know what I mean? Like there was a time in my business where it was like 3 people signed up, it's working. Then it was like, well, 10 people. And then it was like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, then you sell it again. Does it sell the same? Or maybe it's not. Like it's just so interesting, because it's like, I always say this, people buy or don't buy for so many different reasons. Like there's so many factors that affect like number of enrollment at the time of the year, the pricing, your audience, where you're at, our energy, the launch strategy. So it's like, to know if something's working or not working, we need a long time, like a year, like 2 years. And it's like, not even just a year, 2 years, it's a year, 2 years of doing the same thing to actually say, I did this over and over again the same way, and so it worked, or not, or this or that. And then obviously making small adjustments along the way. But yeah, I would say if you have been consistently selling this, giving it your all, maybe introduce a new offer and see if it works, and just see, like, no strings attached, but also be selling something high ticket as you're selling these micro offers to then bring in like other cash, other sales happening. Okay. I think that this might actually be the last question. I'm way early into this journey since I've just transitioned into coaching after leaving my 20-year career in the family business and started dreaming dreams of my own. What would you recommend as possible ways to find clients and sharing my story? Literally, we get to build coaching businesses by sharing our story on social media, sharing our own transformation. This is the biggest piece. As you start as a coach, share your own transformation, if I could speak. At the beginning, when it was the fitness days, all I talked about was my fitness transformation over and over again. I was my own testimonial. I talked about how I did it. Like that was the thing, because I had nothing else to say. I just knew my journey, and I knew that I was going to coach people based on my journey. So it's like, that's actually the way to start a coaching business and a presence, is sharing that on social media, and then also documenting your current journey. So you can say, even if it's not related to what you do, I'm in a big transition in my life right now. I've just left my career and now I'm coming into coaching. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. Even if that's not related to the thing you're going to coach on, people love that kind of stuff. So when I was selling fitness, I was talking about, I'm now on a personal development journey. I'm on a business journey. That had nothing to do with coaching fitness, but it was just like, you're bringing people in your world of like, what is this person up to? Like, oh, they're on their own journey. Like, that's how we build connection. So I would start there on your social media with your journey. And then as you share about that on a regular basis, you're going to gain clarity on what you're really about. You're going to gain clarity on like, what is the thing? What am I going to be known for? What are people resonating with? What do people like? What do I like talking about? All of these different things. And then that's how you're going to really narrow in on like, what are you about? What is my niche or whatever? Like, what is my main focus going to be? But it usually starts broad with your own transformation, your own journey, the past and the one that you're currently in, and do a lot of free coaching, whether that's like on your social media, and then you build a following, and then you get on calls with people, you get on Zoom calls. Like, it's really about like doing the work, whether it's paid or not. And that experience is everything, because you gain clarity on what it's going to look like across the board for your business. But bring it back to basics, you guys. This is the other thing that I will say. And I think that it's so easy to get caught up in like the business side of things. Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But like, bring it back to, what is coaching? Helping someone change their life in whatever context that is for you. If you lead everything you do in your business from that place, it's going to work, right? But we often look at it of like the business perspective first, like, what do I do? What do I post? What do I share? How do I get clients? And it's like, wait, if I focus on service, then all of those things are going to happen, because I'm focusing on how I'm helping people. And so that's how people are going to follow me, and that's how people are going to buy. So it's this fine line, and it's exciting that I get to share this with you guys. I mean, I talk about this in different ways, but especially for this Q&A, is like, on social media, especially, it's easy to get caught up in like all the shiny things. We need the strategy, we need the business things, but don't lose sight of like why you're starting or why you started. Because that's the thing. If you stay connected to that, you're going to show up every day, post amazing content, help people, no matter how many people are showing up or not. You're going to sell your offer no matter how many people are buying or not, if you're like, I have a mission to change someone's life, right? And so I think that we get caught up sometimes because we want to build our businesses, obviously. And there's a duality of like being business savvy and holding the heart and the mission at the same time. But it can be hard because it's really easy to lose track. So at the beginning, we don't know what to do, but you do know why you're doing it. So you talk about that nonstop. That's going to be the thing that builds the audience, and you gain the clarity. And that's where your business builds from. Okay. I'm just going to scroll really quickly again, since I messed up the order, to make sure I didn't miss anything. So hang tight for a minute. Boundaries, client journey, the pricing, the new followers, global movements, 10K months to 20K months, signature offers, referrals, 1K, copying. Don't mind me speaking out loud. Yep. These were all the things. How do we feel? Good? Anytime I do a Q&A, it's like, I'm so like, that was an hour? Like, that was just like boom, boom, boom. And then I'll end this and I'll be like, oh, I'm tired, because that takes a lot. But when I'm in it, I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Maybe you guys have the same way with your Q&A. So amazing questions. Obviously, if you're here, you got to experience all the answers. And if you're on the replay, I hope that you love your answer and all the other answers, just like nonstop value. And some of you I think from the collective were able to sneak in and pop on, which is so fun. A few things that I just want to share with you quickly relative to people who are in this Q&A, like specifically you signed up to this Q&A. Two very exciting things, ridiculous things, insane things. The first thing is we have something new happening in my world. It is the Era of You membership. If you love the 10K bundle and this is the kind of vibe that you want to stick in my world, being in this membership is a really amazing thing. This was my team's idea, so you can thank the team. If you sign up for the membership, we're going to give you free access to the program. So to most people, it's backwards. You have to buy the program to then get the membership, but we want to offer you to join the membership. It's $77 a month, and you're just going to get instant access to the Era of You. We're in the session right now. There's one more. Thanks, team. So I think in the replay email, you'll get the membership link, and it's the founding member rate is $77 a month, which is just freaking crazy. And then that's going to end on the 28th. So that feels really good. So there's that. This was my idea, so you can thank me. This next one. If you, I was like, there needs to be something. There just needs to be something. I'm like, where can I find a middle ground here? I've decided that you can choose either the collective or the Launch and Sell program. Launch and Sell is the next main big program coming up. I talked about it in here a little bit, Sales and Launch Mastery. You can credit $555 to either the full price of the collective or the full price. You guys are like, what are you giving away here? Or Launch and Sell, and that can be on pay in full or payment plans. If you're here, you bought the bundle and probably more. And so you're here, you're doing the work. I admire that. And I just want to give you other opportunities that feel very easy to come in my world and really master it all. And so obviously you gotta pay to be in my world, and there's a middle ground where I'm not just gonna throw out free stuff. Those of you in the collective are laughing because you know, well, I pay $1,000 a month and I get like 10K worth of stuff. Like, just join the collective. But I know it's not an option for everybody. And I really just want to continue to make all of this work so freaking accessible, but still be in alignment. And I want that for all of you and your businesses as well. So we like to figure out different ways to make things really smooth, no matter where you are at, in what capacity to work with us. So in order for that $555 credit, you can reply back to the email that we'll send the replay to, and you can tell the team if you want to use that and what that looks like, and they'll set you up with some kind of a customized link, because you'll need a customized link for that. So I appreciate you guys. And I'm so grateful. Those of you who are in the collective who show up, like I've got like my main go-to collective members who just come on everything, which is amazing. You guys make me feel at home. For some of you who are here, I've never got to see your face before on a video, on a call like this. It feels so special. And I'm so happy that we were able to do this. The collective is the best thing since the invention of the internet. The Steps portal is massive. And I really appreciate that. So I love you guys in all the different capacities. We will get you the email with the replay in the next few hours. If you feel like you missed it, reach out to me or the team. They got your back. I'm sending all the love to you guys, and I'll see you where we are connected next. Okay.